Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch him throw the ball. Man. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Mual, Jamal Forrest. AJ is on the way. Dre is on the way. But while we waiting on the gang, man, let's get the administrative items out of the way. I see y'all in the chat too. Jay Tizzy, Will, and everybody that's checking in live. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Everybody on the YouTube side. Also, if you are brand new to this, just like I am, like I just put the announcement out a couple hours ago. We got, bruh. I love the song, bruh. Shout out to every time I get a shout out to Montez, bruh. We used to be in a go-go band together, but that's my dog, man. He model now, and he do rapping on the side still, but that's my dog, bro. He blessed Trap or Dive with his hook. Anyway, my bad. We have memberships now on the channel. So if you want to become part of the Trappers, you can definitely do that. You know, I always say it's free to get your support on the audio side. You know, rating and reviews. It takes 2 seconds to do so, man. If you want to show some love on the YouTube side in terms of your support, that way you can definitely become a member of the channel. And the way I'll kind of figure this out now is to give people the perks of the exclusivity of being a member. When we get some of those bigger interviews, fingers crossed, you know, we keep that going. Once we book those, y'all get them first. Anything else special to the channel, like giveaways, y'all at the priority list. Like I'm trying to do with this Jayden Daniels thing. I'm trying to find out a platform where I can do my giveaway. Because I did one on Twitch side, and it was easier to do a giveaway because you can prioritize your subs. So it's a little different with YouTube, and I'm still trying to figure that out. I thought I could have that done by Saturday. I did some research, and I figured out it's not that simple. So give me some time. We're gonna get the jersey out. I may just have to manually do it, and like whoever do the little hashtag in the chat, I'm gonna randomly select a person, and figure things out like that. But other than that, like I said, audio side, make sure you hit the rating and review. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're brand new. We definitely appreciate that as well. Let's get the fellas on the show. Where are they? Boom. Also, no guest today. It's us thugging it out, man. Us in the chat. All y'all. Dre, AJ, what's going on with y'all?
What's good, brother?
Ain't much, man. I can't call it. AJ, I see you, bro, with the new little profile thing, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, my man, a Cliff fan, bro.
That's what I was about to say.
Definitely
AJ,
not.
you've been turning it on since
not.
Last week. you said you liked how Cliff ran this preseason, AJ. So you're becoming a Cliff fan.
I mean, I like how you went about it as far as play calling, not trying to be so vanilla, but you know, I think the story is still unwritten on Cliff. You know, that's the most intriguing part. Huh?
I actually thought he was just like vanilla.
I mean, you don't really see guys in the pistol in preseason. So like you also don't see a quarterback sweep in the preseason. So that's where I was like, okay, I get it. I see you trying to do a little bit of something, but you know, as I've browsed the internet today, I've seen some numbers come out that are trying to correlate back to his time as the head coach for the Cardinals. So, I mean,
well, let's talk about that. We can talk about it in a second. I'll let you lead the conversation because I want to make sure you can relay everything that you saw just in case. Because I saw glimpses of it. I've been trying to capture it.
I went on a rant about it today too.
All right, so y'all know. All right, cool, perfect. So y'all got that covered then. Okay, cool. So Corey, I see you. This is as much as it's gonna get right now. I'm gonna just show it on the screen, and that's it. I don't get it, bro. I can't do it, bro. Can't do it. Jay Tizzy, I see you. Let's get into like our final recap. See, Monty tried it too. I told you, bro. I got the Stevie Wonder shades on, bro. Let's get into like our final recap of the actual game. You know, obviously when we do the regular season too. Side note for everybody that's in here listening, we will not do a post game recap for the Patriots game. So we will just be back. Given that Sunday, we will just be back on Tuesday, covering anything and everything from that. So we will not be on Sunday night.
That's cut day is Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. So we're good. So let's kind of close the gap on the Miami Dolphins game. We had some time to kind of relook at the game, the film, etc., all the things that we wanted to look at, reassess, coaches' quotes, etc., players, things like that. I'm gonna give y'all the floor because I only have a few players that I want to put a spotlight on. Literally. So I want to give y'all the floor in terms of things that maybe stood out to y'all after some days have passed, whether it's players, whether it's situation, anything like that. But I'll give y'all the floor and we can talk about it.
I mean, I'll quickly touch on something that I tweeted yesterday. It seemed like somebody reported it, so a part of it got taken down.
Reported it.
Yeah, man. Who knows, bro? But at the end of the day, I wasn't impressed with Jamon Davis snaps on Saturday in the Miami game. I understand that he had a sack, forced fumble, whatever the case is from a statistical standpoint, but I mean, I'm not impressed with the way that he's getting off the ball. I'm not impressed with the football IQ, paying attention to what's actually going on in plays. I'm seeing him get washed on. I'm seeing him get washed within blocking schemes defensively. Special teams is also getting washed. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of what I'm seeing right now. I could understand if maybe this was like year one or year two for him as a player, but you got a guy that you just declined his 5th-year option. I don't know if you can necessarily have him stay on the roster and make that 53 to be a developmental piece. I think that you have guys that are currently on the roster that can be more beneficial in getting those reps, possibly as a situational pass rusher, such as a Baptiste from Notre Dame, or even signing a guy that's a free agent currently, or getting another guy from waivers that has the experience of playing defensive end, but also gives you a bit more in the pass rushing development side as far as like skill set and moves, and also being a contributor on special teams. So, you know, some people felt the way that they wanted to feel. It is what it is. I'm not telling anyone to take my word or any of our words as gospel. That's just my personal opinion. Some might have said that they seen him making some development. I'm just not with it. Like, you feel me? Like, that's just me. And I think anyone that tunes into the show knows I kind of speak with conviction. Because if I come on here and I say anything, I truly believe what I'm saying. You feel me? Not even just from a standpoint of opinion, but factually, like as far as like information and data. But yeah, that's just like my final takeaway from the game on Saturday. Because I think I was saying some people praise him, and that's cool if you just looked at that quick little highlight. But if you look at the full scope of the entire game, it was not an impressive outing. You know, kudos to him for making a play. But at the end of the day, you make one play and the other 30 plays you getting washed. What is that good for?
Hey, actually, before I go, I wanted to kind of follow up on AJ and ask you this. I mean, because with Mual, we actually talked to Mual about the sack that he made, and I know you mentioned some of his moves look limited, and I know that was one of the knocks going in about him, about his pass rush skills. Is it's not the technique is not fully there yet. Now, obviously, he hasn't really played this primarily, but I wanted to know, AJ, for you. I mean, I think you admitted that it was a good move that he made on the strip sack as well. But do you think there's something to build on, or is there nothing worth developing there with Jamon?
I mean, I think it's challenging if they really see him as a multifaceted player, to where he can be a situational pass rusher at defensive end and also be a backup linebacker to a Wagner or a Luvu. then I guess that's where he really has a purpose and a benefit. But from my knowledge, we haven't seen him take any linebacker reps at all this entire offseason program, whether it be mini camp, OTAs, training camp. So I don't truly believe that they see him as a linebacker within their particular scheme. Unfortunately, you have the Jordan McGee situation. I don't really know the full details on his injury, but I did see that he will return later on in the season. I think that's a major hit for them because when you look at the rest of that linebacker room, pretty much inexperienced and limited. Now I think you're counting on the likes of a Pittman, Mikael Walker. I can't even name Jamon's name because I haven't really heard of him being mentioned as a backup linebacker. So yeah, I think that's where it stands for me. I just feel like if you have guys that can actually bring something in that pass rush unit, I think you have to give them a nod over Jamon and not necessarily be idle and hope that he develops.
Okay.
I just think with Jamon, there are several different ways to look at this. I don't disagree with anybody who is on the belief that he's still fighting for a roster spot, right? I think that's just as important to acknowledge as the fact that the coaches like him and want to keep him on the roster for like the same reasons that people think that he is like a fringe cut guy. And I'll lay it out like this because I said this before. If you're a person in Jamon who is struggling in terms of like, you know, he's underdeveloped in his rush moves. He doesn't really have the burst that you would want to see from an edge rusher. And he's still trying to find his way in terms of like his head placement at the point of contact, like in terms of finding the rusher. Because sometimes he can, when he's trying to locate the ball carrier, he can turn his head the wrong way and then lose the ball carrier altogether. You know, all of that is underdeveloped with him being at edge rusher. But there's moments where he flashes. And that's the side that the coaches love. That's the side that his teammates love, obviously. And then there's times where you see like he is engaged or he'll make like this wrong decision. And then you look at other guys where it's like they're a little bit more developed than Jamon at the position than he is. Contextually speaking, like I see Jay Tizzy in the chat, right? Yes, no doubt. He's only been as a defensive lineman for a few months, but that's kind of the disadvantage of him switching positions in the last year of his deal anyway. Like we got to remember, and this is part of my point. I'm not talking about you, Jay, specifically. The NFL ain't fair, bro. Like when Niles Paul got converted to tight end, bro, nobody knew if he was going to pan out there, but he panned out, and he got a second contract somewhere else with the Jacksonville Jaguars when his time in Washington was done. And that's just one like small successful story, but Niles Paul found a niche here in Washington when he was a tight end. Like he was good with his hands, but he was a dog. He got his hands dirty. And I think that's kind of like when you look at somebody who's like on their last leg, I think it's just some things how things work out. Sometimes how things work out. So when I think about Jamon, bro, it's not fair to him, point blank, period, that he is in his last year of his deal and he's gonna convert it to edge rusher. But what he's doing right now, I feel like you can work with if this was like his second year of his contract. But his last year is what makes him a fringe bubble guy, and I don't know if he's worth keeping on board because of that. I also want to note there aren't that many edge rushers out there on this team that has been impressive this offseason. This preseason. And I mean that to say, like, there hasn't been anyone winning consistently with their rush moves. Quarterbacks have had plenty of time. If they're not sending pressure, right? We're talking about 5 or more rushers. Quarterbacks have had plenty of time back there in the pocket, bro. And and that's not just Jamon Davis. That's plenty of other people, including John Baptiste, number 90, that rookie, who I actually like. And I think you can keep him around, obviously. But he's not, even when he got his sack, it wasn't like he beat the guy. He played contained real well. And ultimately, the coverage forced Skylar Thompson, I think that's who it was, into his hands. So I just want to make all that be known in terms of the rush line, period. There hasn't been much pressure up front, and we actually need to pay attention to that, because if John Allen and Deron Payne and even Johnny Newton to this point, given that he's dealing with injury, if all of them sat out to this point, and who the guy? Dante Fowler, all of them sat out, bro. If they not in the game, them boys in trouble. There's nobody that's winning in their one-on-one reps at the line of scrimmage, bro, when they're engaged. So I just want to make sure like we understand that part too when we think about Jamon. Like, it's not just him that's not winning. That whole defensive line is struggling.
Yeah, that's not good. But hopefully they're not all out at the same time, because it is kind of, well, it's preseason too. But if that was to happen in a regular season, that means that you were just truly injured as a unit. That's some bad luck there. But I actually wanted to close out with my preseason thought. Now, mine is real brief because it was only one guy, and I actually wanted to bring this up on Saturday night. It's a guy I've been rooting for the last couple of years, but he is not helping himself out at all. And he didn't help himself out at all on Saturday. Well, he was helping himself until the fumble, Kaz Allen. I mean, and this is a guy who, he looks explosive. I mean, honestly, it looked like he could have broke at least 2 returns if he didn't get tripped up in this last game alone. I mean, last year, you just felt like he was on the verge of breaking one of those things. But if you can't hold on to the ball and the ball security is just not a big thing for you, you can't make anyone's roster. And that kind of hurt me to see that, because like I said, he's very explosive. And I think the team is giving him, the team is giving him every opportunity to make this roster. You can tell they like him. I mean, I even heard people that went to training camp say they've seen Kaz Allen get the ball quite a few on offense. I mean, and then you're seeing him getting those return opportunities over the other guys, but yet he's still hurting himself by putting the ball on the ground or dropping the ball. So, I mean, that's one guy, honestly, I do hope this weekend. I mean, that's probably the only thing I really want to see this weekend, because I know a lot of the starters are not going to play. I want to see if Kaz Allen is really going to step up and make a final case for him to make this roster, because I would love for him to be the return guy.
If there's one thing that I want to say about Kaz, bro, because I agree with you, like that fumble was disappointing. But I want to acknowledge one thing out of that, because last year Kaz is a rookie. Now I said this on Twitter too, but I also realized that I didn't word it properly. Last year the coaches were so set on Kaz just playing receiver and running routes downfield in the preseason, and they never really tried to work him out in terms of like having plays designed for him, whether it's handoffs, whether it's those sweeps, whether it's screens. And Cliff Kingsbury has done all 3 of those in the first 2 games. And I think it's clearly evident that they are trying to figure out how they can keep him. No, excuse me. Let me rephrase. They're trying to figure out what it will look like if they can keep him on this roster. They understand the talent that he has, but what would it look like if we can keep him on this roster and he can get the jet sweeps. He can get these screens. We can use him as a decoy. We can give him handoffs like out of the backfield, like, or we can have him run routes out of the backfield. Like, what does all that look like? So it's evident, Dre, that they want to find a way to keep him on the roster, and that's not to mention the special teams part. But yeah, it sucks, man, because like I seen what he was able to do at UCLA. I seen this, obviously his background altogether. Like, he knows how to get in the end zone. He's an explosive player, but it does suck when you see somebody that you think that can work out not able to really pan out. Like, those small hands get him in trouble. He got 8-inch hands, bro, and like, you ain't, like, from an NFL perspective, I don't know what the normal hand size looks like, but from an NFL perspective, them small hands gonna get you in trouble, bro. You can't hold on to a football. Your ball security is a little sketchy, and it's showing through your muff punts. It's showing through drop passes, and it's showing through fumbles. It sucks, man.
Yeah, I think they wanted. Well, not
the Kenny Pickett.
I think. I think Cliff Kingsbury wants to use Kaz Allen like how he did with Rondell Moore. Rondell Moore is like a 5'8" wide receiver. He recently got traded to Atlanta, but he's out for the season. Got hurt in training camp. But I think that's the vision that they have for Kaz Allen, being able to motion him out of the backfield in sweeps, reverses, fakes, whatever motion packages that they plan on utilizing. Because I think he brings something different to the table as far as the rest of the wide receiver room, and even the experience of having some halfback carries and lining up in the backfield as a running back at UCLA. I think he makes the team even with the fumble, just because the team lacks anyone that can really kind of do what he does. Even though you haven't really seen it from an NFL standpoint, but I don't really know of anyone else on the roster that compares to his skill set. I think the last person that they had, if I'm not mistaken, got released, Dimitri Bird.
Demir
Is
Bird, yeah.
Dimitri Bird still on the roster, or did he
No, I
get
think
released?
he got
Bird
cut,
got
I
cut
think,
with
last
that.
week. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Man, so with this new kickoff thing, I think that opens the door for him to making the roster.
I don't know,
Jay
bro.
Tyler funny as hell. He don't like Kaz Allen at all.
Yeah, I don't really agree with Jay. Saying that he don't make nobody miss. Like he is a north south player. Like I would look at him more like in comparison speaking, I would look at him like a Brian Mitchell. I don't know why did I forget his name, but like he's literally a north south guy. He's just super fast, bro.
Right.
But to that point, I don't even know if return special teams can really even seal the deal for him, bro. Like you got Zacchaeus, who's a returner. Noah
Dotson should be on
Igbenogany.
returns. Why is Dotson, if he's not going to be the
I have
number
no
one
clue, and
receiver,
it pisses
why
me
is
off,
he
bro.
not getting it?
It pisses me off, bro. Why is he not returning? He hasn't returned a single thing yet. And they even put Luke McCaffrey out there before they even tried Dotson, which is like, if you're gonna have Dotson out there for as many snaps as you had during the preseason on offense, you ain't try that man out at special teams once, bro.
Right.
I mean,
don't get it.
They used him in a training camp at punt returner, but every time I seen a clip of him punt returner, he was jumping in the air to catch the punts, and I think that shit was personal. Like he really don't want to be a punt returner in the league. Like who the hell jumps on catches for punt returns? Like you're intensely trying to not be put back there, bro. And it was like,
I mean,
it
how
was
is that?
multiple clips of that. Like I was saying, I was just like, this man is playing around. He don't want to say no,
jumping?
but he's literally jumping to catch the punts.
Okay.
I
if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I want to see it. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm bringing like who else? Because like I don't know if like I don't think you can get. I don't think Kaz like who. All right, so that
OZ has been returning, hasn't he?
You said who?
OZ.
Yeah, he's returned. He's
been returning. Yeah.
In terms of like kickoffs, I'm trying to think. I think McCaffrey got some. I think Kaz got some. I don't think any running backs got any. Am I tripping? No running backs have got any.
I don't think so either. I don't think
it's been all receivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Davion Davis is the other guy they've had back there.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has, and he ain't doing shit as a receiver.
No.
Yeah, and I think the reason why we ain't seeing Crowder for the most part, is because I think they are fully confident in what he can
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
So I'm starting to think about that part. So yeah, I don't know. They give it shit. They can't. Kaz can't say he ain't had no chances this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So some people that I want to point out, Tyler Owens. Tyler Owens for sure deserves a conversation. By the way, film session coming out either today or tomorrow. What's today? Tuesday. Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be highlighting Tyler, along with some other players. But Tyler Owens for sure defensively. Like there was like a 5-play sequence in which he made 3 out of the 5 plays. Like obviously the biggest one was that 40-something yard run where he had to chase down. A couple defenders kind of got in the way. Essentially, it was a man coverage situation, and the defender who had the running back essentially got washed up and wasn't able to fill the gap where the running back was taking a hole. And then obviously Jeremy Reeves was the one who missed the tackle when he came down and run support. And Tyler Owens hawk Cuz down, saved the tackle, saved the drive. That was the biggest play, but There was a 3-play sequence where he made or 5-play sequence where he made 3 of those 5 plays, which was pretty good. Solid in coverage for the most part. The effort is there, and when I think of effort, like we had that conversation with Candy, you know, what stood out to me with Mike Sanders still was that, like, he didn't even, when I was at that practice, he didn't make a play in terms of like a pass defensive interception or forced fumble or anything like that. That made me write something down about him. It was like literal his effort. Like he didn't quit on any play. He chased down the ball in any situation. And Tyler Owens is the same way. And I think those things are huge. But it showed itself, my point, it showed itself with Tyler Owens in this game. And you know, his name just keeps standing out. And that's not even including the special teams plays that he's probably making in both of the preseason games and obviously in practice as well. But defensively, what I'm paying attention to, he's a person where it's like that's the fight that you want to see from like one of those bottom end roster guys. I don't like, people kind of jump to the conclusion when you say things about those bottom of the roster guys, like, oh, this person's the one, like we found a stud or like a special guy. I don't think his time is there yet. Like there's so many people in front of him to suggest that, you know, he's going to be the superstar or a superstar. I just think that this is a person where it's like in due time, maybe it'll come around. But for the meantime, you know, that's a person that you can win with on your roster. And I want to make sure that he gets some love. I'll pause there if y'all got any thoughts on Tyler.
I wanted to ask you more because I already know AJ's answer to this. Does Tyler Owens' emergence means Jeremy Reeves is not safe on this roster?
Ooh. Honestly, bro, the way Jeremy Reeves played this preseason, bro, the man's had like 4 or 5 missed tackles. And why he had that missile of a hit on the sideline with that running back flew back like 3 yards, bro, which was an amazing play. Like, bro, if you got somebody in Tyler Owens that's showing you up or competing at the same level as you are on special teams, and then you talk about a person who's everywhere on the field defensively, or always around the football defensively, and he's making plays. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're in direct competition, but I think with the amount of DBs that they have, Reeves by default has become exposable. I think that's disposable.
Disposable, yes.
What the fuck? What did he has become disposable, bro. So that's kind of where I'm at with Reeves, bro. I know that's gonna make. Oh, that's why you. Yeah, I know that's gonna make AJ love.
He don't like Reeves. That's why I already knew what his answer was going to be. But Jay Tyler seems to think it's Defoe. He thinks Defoe could be on the bubble.
Well, which I think? I don't know, bro. I don't know Defoe.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, honestly, I would assume Reeves, and the reason why I assume Reeves is because what we know of Reeves is that he's a special teams ace. And if Tyler Owens is showing that he can be a special teams ace as well as give an impact on the defense, my mind automatically goes to the special teams ace and Reeves and becoming more disposable, as you say, Mual.
What was you gonna say, AJ? Oh wait, AJ, you muted if you're talking. Okay. All right. I'll wait till he gets back if we want to spring the block on secondary and them guys. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at Mike Davis, bro. I don't know what to make of that. I think one of the hardest things to really kind of evaluate in preseason is knowing that, you know, you can't take everything as like, you know, it is what it is. Like, this is exactly what's going on. You may have to like wait for the full picture in terms of like players to come around, and AJ kind of hinted to it. But like sometimes when you think about technique, that's one thing. Like a bad rep here and there is you know, it is what it is. But like, I don't know like what to make of these cornerbacks. That's just a thought with Mike Davis, the cornerback. I think they're gonna need some help there. No brainer situation. There's a Michael Walker, the linebacker. I think he's number 32. I was trying to figure out for a while who is Anthony Pittman in relation to this team, right? Because I think Anthony Pittman is ass. I think he's ass, bro. And I even feel bad saying that because I'm not no disrespectful person.
I think he came from Detroit. He's the Lance Newsmark guy.
I respect how, I respect NFL players. Like, I don't ever say nothing but it's just so frustrating because, like, I just remember hearing his name in terms of like, oh, they got Anthony Pittman as a depth guy, so he'll be fine. But I'm like, I watched him since the Jets game, bro, and he is not improved from the Jets game where he had like 5 missed tackles. He looked slow. He didn't look laterally quick, and then this week, like, he's missing tackles again at the point of contact and like not necessarily standing out from a playmaking standpoint. But I say that to say Walker, I was trying to figure out who Pittman was because I don't think he was it in terms of like a depth guy or a number 2 guy. But with McGee being hurt, I think Walker is going to be like, he looks explosive. He looks like he can move around a little bit in the middle of the field. And I don't think he's going to be, again, I don't think he's going to be a superstar the same way as like Tyler Owens and things like that. But I think in the event that you need to have 3 linebackers on the field, or you have to have situational things where you want Frankie Louvu rushing and you want two stand-up linebackers, or maybe you want to throw some disguises to the offensive line and quarterback, maybe Walker is going to be one of those pieces. Trying to think. I think that's it for me on the defensive side. Y'all got any comments on the defense or even the linebacker situation, cornerback? It don't matter. Y'all got any thoughts before I move on?
I was going to speak on Pittman real quick. I tend to remember when they signed him that the thought was that it was him and James Pierre, the cornerback that they signed from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Those two, I believe, were more talked of as special teams guys. Now, I haven't watched all of the special teams reps to see if he's standing out there or not, but I never got the impression that they thought he was going to be like kind of in that linebacker rotation. But I do feel like if you need him in a pinch, that he's going to have to play that. And if he's missing tackles, that's not a good thing, whether you're playing defense or special teams. So
call that man a poor man's David Mayo, bro. Like, you know how bad you got to be worse than David Mayo?
Oh, man. That was a nightmare.
I mean, I think at some point you got to start looking at the depth at your linebacker position, because if one of those guys goes down, you're screwed, especially when you were counting on Jordan McGee.
Facts. And like you said, he's out for a few weeks, TBD in terms of like his actual time to return. He had a knee scope surgery or something like that. Dan Quinn said, and while we're on the injury standpoint, he said Brandon Coleman. Why am I thinking of Jordan Morgan? Brandon Coleman is more in a position to return, and I think he said Johnny Newton. So that's kind of the update on the 3 rookies. I don't think I'm missing, because I mean, obviously Lucas came back from injury, and so did Andrew Wiley. I don't think Andrew Wiley played like in the two series he played. He didn't really play a terrible game. I didn't think he played a bad game. There was kind of a situation where he had a hold, but in terms of like his actual reps, like executing plays, I mean, that was 1 rep, but like generally speaking, the overall standpoint, I thought that he was solid, specifically like in the run game too. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish we could have. I don't know if he's going to play Dan Quinn. I don't know if he's going to play their starters in that 3rd preseason game, but I'm with AJ, because AJ said this last with Anthony Armstrong. I would love to see like the starters, at least one series where you get the starting offensive line out there with at least, even if it's 3 plays and out. But I guess I don't know. I don't think, maybe the coaches just don't care about that, which is perfectly fine, as their prerogative. I would think if Coleman can play, actually I wouldn't even rush that. So let me pause there. I wouldn't even rush bringing Brandon Coleman back yet if he's recovering from that shoulder injury.
Yeah, we need him. I mean, that's one of the injuries I did not want to see. I mean, just even if it's a little nagging injury, you just don't want to see that for a guy that's where you came into this season or this offseason wondering, was he going to play tackle or guard? And if you're trying him out of left tackle, we was hoping we would see him, at some point. I don't even think he's played in any of the joint practices because he's been injured. So it's tough to know what you got at the left tackle spot. And it also makes the question, looming larger of what do they do with that first lineup for the regular season? Like, is he going to be the starting left tackle, or is it going to be Cornelius Lucas? I do hope he plays this week, but if you find something, please let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I think
okay.
I was gonna say I think I would want to see him out there at least for a series or two, man. Week 1 going against Todd Bowles once again. If that man's first game ever as an NFL player is going to be against that defense, they're going to overload his side. It only makes sense. Like, this guy has not seen any reps against anyone outside of his teammates. So, yeah, I think I would want to see him out there at least for a series or two. Let's just see what we got there.
Yeah, he has to play. If he's healthy, he has to play this weekend.
I think that's fair. I agree with you all now, Jay Tizzy. All right, so let's go ahead and get to let's kind of make this one about Jayden Daniels quick, bro. I heard this on the radio. Sorry, I lied. I didn't hear it on the radio. I saw when I was on my little podcast app, I saw the show topic. And I thought it was interesting because I couldn't believe that it was a question, but I want to kind of get you all's thoughts on this. Is Jayden, this is from actually the Kevin Sheehan show with the good man, didn't they? And then obviously Kevin Sheehan as well. Is Jayden Daniels bust proof? I'll leave it to y'all first to answer that. Do y'all think that's even a valid question? But answering the question itself, what do you all say?
To be quite honest with you, Mark, I really don't like topics like that. I mean, obviously, as a fan, I want Jayden to be great. I'm rooting for him to be successful, and I see him being really successful in this league. But I just hate kind of the talk of, oh, is he bust proof? Because it just puts so much pressure on him to be great right away versus just letting him kind of just, just kind of letting him kind of grow into what he's gonna be. Like, everyone's kind of putting this, and you're gonna have pressure when you have that type of draft type hype or that kind of draft stock where you're drafting number 2, you're going to have the pressure. But no one, I've never really heard them outside of the generational prospects like the Trevor Lawrences and all of those, where you just think you just automatically know those guys are going to be great, or you're saying they're going to be great because they're generational. Jayden didn't have necessarily the generational label, but now folks are starting to treat him like he's generational. And with the generational stuff comes some of the other stuff that you may not like to see. So no, I don't like it because anybody can be a bust. Like, we've seen the generational prospects be bust. Because being a bust, a lot of things can factor into that. It could be injuries. It could be just literally anything. It could be play callers. It could be just the situation that you're in. So I don't like the conversation about, is he bust proof? And I mean, my answer is no one's bust proof, because we've literally seen anyone can become a bust. But do I think he's going to be successful? Yes. I mean, I feel he's going to be successful. I haven't seen anything that makes me believe otherwise, but to answer the question, no, he's not bust proof. No one's bust proof.
Yeah, I hate these dumbass Skip Bayless ass topics, bro. Like, what do you mean someone being bust proof? Like, anything can happen. Like, legit, you could be in practice, tear your Achilles, you could tear your quad. Like, no one is invisible of any criticism or whatever happens with the trajectory of their career. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not like it's tennis or something, right? An individual sport, golf. Like, there's so many things that control your story within the league. Like, from offensive coordinator to head coach to teammates that you play with. Yeah, it's so many factors that go into the trajectory of your career that, I mean, you cannot say that someone is bust proof, but I guess maybe that's what they do on talk radio and Skip Bayless show. But yeah,
yeah, you don't want to know what else they were talking about on radio today, bro. We ain't gonna bring that up.
We ain't gotta bring that up, but we gotta bring the other part up about what they said about
Cliff on the radio.
Yeah, we ain't worried about that.
I'll talk about it.
It was some more Skip Bayless type shit.
Bro, it was stupid, man.
You can tell me privately in the chat later.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
I'll say it's as Mual won't say. It's the sliding, AJ. People are like going crazy about this whole sliding mess. That's what it is. which is ridiculous. But
like slip and slide records, like Trick Daddy and Trina.
Well, they want him to slide. But see, I'm going to touch on this very, very, very briefly. But the only issue I had with that particular play that everyone wants to talk about was that he didn't go out of bounds. Like, if that same exact play happened in the regular season, I would have took no issue with it because he didn't take a bad hit. He got 2 more yards, which is fine. And he walked up. He got up. He didn't come injured. But my only issue was it was preseason. There's no need to even risk the tackle. Just go out of bounds. He had an opportunity to go out of bounds, but it's nothing to talk about. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We move on. I mean, Dan Quinn even said, "Yeah, you move on." No one wanted to see him take a hit, but nothing happened. It was just minor. But sports radio is blowing it out of proportion, which is mad at him.
Yeah, I mean, not for me not to get too deep, but I think it's just people having to adapt with the times of quarterback play in the NFL and on the collegiate level. Like, you're talking about guys that have been running since they've been playing the sport as little kids, peewee football. Like Lamar Jackson, look how he runs the ball. Like, whenever he does need to get outside the pocket, he runs like a running back because that's his natural instincts. Like, these guys also don't want to deter their career. Like, they want to get to their second contract, their third contract. I mean, it's not many times over the last 30 years you've seen a bunch of athletes like a Anthony Richardson, Jayden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Josh Allen, Cam Newton come about the league and really making up the masses of who play the quarterback position. So I think a lot of the pundits are just always, oh my God, what if he gets hit? Like, he could get hurt. You could get hit in the pocket as well, even if you're not trying to run. Like, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles in the pocket. You feel me? Like, other guys tore their Achilles in the pocket. Tua Tagovailoa got his concussions in the pocket. So it's just one of those things. I think maybe for some, it's probably gonna sound crazy, but for some, they just have never had that athleticism in their life, and they don't realize like you could still show your escapability at the quarterback position, make plays, and still get hit. Like, football is a contact sport. You're gonna get hit. You feel me? But it doesn't necessarily mean that this person is at a high risk of injury. Like, I don't know. Because it almost sounds like they're complaining to take away what is one of Jayden Daniels' superpowers. Like, he could throw the ball from the pocket, but if you also add in the fact that this guy can run a 4-4, 4-3, and literally take a simple play 75 yards downfield, you're taking away what makes him special. And I just think too many people are just so scared of everything. And it's like, man, go touch grass, live life a little bit.
Let's get into Cliff Kingsbury. Wait, what's the? Oh wait, y'all got it. I don't even know what I'm looking for. All right, y'all got it. What's the word on this Cliff Kingsbury situation?
Well, you go ahead, AJ.
Oh yeah, I'm just going off the top of my head, but from what I was saying, some of the commentary was just touching on Cliff Kingsbury's offense so far. What it's shown, it's like, for example, Terry McLaurin, out of 29 snaps, has been primarily lined up at one position, the X. I think 28 out of 29 times. Also, the tempo has been like at a 53%. The next team, I think, was the Steelers at like 13%. So they're just pretty much like correlating old Arizona Cardinals offensive numbers from alignment to tempo to the run pass ratio to what has already been shown so far in preseason. I mean, I really don't know what to make out of that. You just hope that the time that he spent away from the game and these new coaches that are coming in to play with him and the staff offensively, they help him not, get back into his old ways of how he called plays for the Cardinals, and he diversifies what, he already had as a base.
And just to add on to the things I saw people kind of complaining about or, feeding their own narratives to AJ's list was they were talking about the screen passes that he's thrown in preseason. I believe they charted or tracked that he's thrown more screen passes. they throw more screen passes than any other team in the league to this point. And they even kind of try to pin that on the USC offense from last year. And they said they threw a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage with Caleb Williams last year. So they tried to pin that on Cliff. Who knows? But anyway, my whole point is, like, preseason doesn't matter usually. And people tell you can't tell anything from preseason until it fits your narrative. Now we know Cliff's offense. So apparently from what we're seeing from a lot of these people that's kind of criticizing what they're doing, like I have even seen some of the numbers nerds say, oh, Cliff is back. Here he goes. This is what he does. So basically they're telling us we've seen all of the offense we're going to see all year. There's going to be no adjustments. Like the preseason offense that you've seen them run is what they're going to run out there all season. I mean, and that could very well be the case, but I'm not going to assume that because of preseason. You know what I mean? Like Cliff could be setting them up for something different for the season, as that goes on. And if anybody has watched the starters play on offense, I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe from my vantage point, Jayden Daniels in the offense, the starting offense, they haven't punted the ball one time this preseason. They've had scoring opportunities every drive that they've had this preseason. Now, again, you can't take anything from that, but I don't know how you can look at that and find a fault or a problem with what they're doing on offense if they're moving the ball and they're being efficient in what they're doing. Jayden looks comfortable and poised. I mean, I seen one of the guys even go to say that he's going to predict that Jayden's going to be the bad quarterback of this class because of Cliff Kingsbury and what they've seen in preseason. And I'm like, if you're actually watching the games, how do you come up with that statement? Because anybody watching the games, most of the former players, a lot of the people you see on TV that talk this stuff, everyone's impressed by Jayden. I mean, even from me, the untrained eye, I'm watching, I see a guy that's calm, in control and poised, but yet people are saying, yeah, he's going to go out there and not be good because he's playing for Cliff Kingsbury and this is what they're doing in preseason. And it kind of brings me back to the whole Kyler Murray discussion. Like many people, I don't think many people out there will go out there and say right now that Kyler Murray is a top 10 quarterback in this league. I mean, maybe some people will, but I don't think the majority of people will go out there and say that Kyler Murray is a top 10 guy. But Kyler Murray with Cliff Kingsbury, he was rookie of the year. After his rookie of the year, he went to the Pro Bowl 2 times. And Kyler Murray was pretty successful with Cliff Kingsbury. Even if you don't think he's a good quarterback, you got to say he has some success with Cliff Kingsbury. So to think that the next quarterback that Cliff Kingsbury coaches is going to be a failure, it's just wrong, and there's no evidence to support that. That's my only issue with it. It's just like you have a bias against him, and that's fine. Like Cliff may not be the greatest coach out there. He may not even be a good offensive coordinator. But what I can't see is Cliff being a pure failure that most people think he is just because he didn't succeed as a coach. That's just my issue with it.
From my understanding, bro, like I think now. Correct me if I'm steered wrong, but I just think that those Aaron Schatz, that's the name that I kept seeing. The conclusions that people draw in preseason is funny. I get caught up in it sometimes, but I get caught up in it from a player evaluation standpoint. Last year, when I was looking at Eric Bieniemy's offense, that was the first and only time where I looked at something and like I saw something that was like vividly different from the previous offense. And I was like, okay, I like how they're doing things in the preseason. And honestly, bro, that was a mistake. I don't think that, I mean, it was a clear mistake. Like, I think I got drawn into just generally like knowing what I saw and then making a conclusion, because it wasn't just Bieniemy where I thought things would be different. I looked at the defensive line too, and I want to say it was Deron Payne, and I wasn't like too high on. What year was it they played the Chiefs in preseason? Was that last year or 2 years ago?
It was either last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. I want to say 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, because I remember Cole Holcomb being like, "Man, what the hell is going on out here?"
So it was 2 years ago, and I remember having a comment on Deron Payne where I wasn't impressed with that preseason, not necessarily just that game. And Deron Payne ended up with 11 and a half, 12 sacks, right? And I thought that he was, I was like, man, I'm hoping that he turned a corner, but I ain't seeing it right now. And I was dead wrong. And I say that to say, I'm not the only one out there who have made those mistakes. And I think people like Aaron Schatz and whoever else he was talking to. Like they're
David
drawing
Nguyen,
these.
I think that's his David Nguyen. Yeah, something like that. He's one of those nerds, well, numbers guys.
Hey, analytical nerds, man. They are
Yeah,
what they are.
I like and I love analytical guys, but sometimes they just
When you use
trust
it
it too much.
yeah, exactly. And I say that to say like this instance where like you're using these data points or this bit of information to draw a conclusion in preseason, bruh. When like there is nothing to suggest that this will be the case in the regular season, you're gonna end up looking like me, a damn fool. Like, and that ain't the idea, or that ain't what you really want. Just because you get excited about something where your preconceived notion, you're validated of your preconceived notion by something that you see in that preseason. So yeah, I don't know what to really make of it, honestly. Like, 'cause I don't know those guys too in depth, but I do think like the general idea of people like basing what they're seeing in preseason or basing what they're seeing a little bit too early. It shouldn't be like something where you're ready to bang the drum on. And I think it's more so like, all right, let's notate this, because I do remember seeing this where somebody said that Terry McLaurin is exclusively lined up on the left side of the formations. And again, another data point where it's like people are saying Cliff Kingsbury is so back. And for those who are not familiar with that comment in itself, Cliff Kingsbury he was known across the league of like having DeAndre Hopkins, like his number one wideouts, and generally receivers, because he ran a motionless offense for the most part. They will line up at one spot of the field, and he wouldn't really use them in other areas, in other formation or different alignments on the offense. So, like again, you see Terry McLaurin line up on one side of the field the entire preseason. They're drawing conclusions there too. I don't necessarily know if he's doing like a bait and switch. It really may just be his offense. The innovation may come within like how he designs or how he connects plays within one another. But I also think that's just one of those things where you gotta wait and see, bro. And that's kind of where I'm at. I really don't know. Wilson Fields a little. I think they jumping the gun, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Who's doing preseason grades? Like, come on, man. You know how much of a nerd you have to be? Like, you're sitting there grading preseason games, like, and from an analytical standpoint, like, get the fuck out of here, man.
That's
like,
that's why I'm at, AJ. But like I said, they could be right. I mean, they ultimately, we may be watching what we're going to see, well, at least a little bit. But I think it's absurd to expect that this is what you're going to see based off of what you're watching right now in the preseason. I mean, for me personally, I would be kind of shocked if everything we're seeing right now, as far as how Terry's lining up, and I understand he's done it. Well, Cliff has done this in the past with his wideouts. But I'm just thinking from the standpoint that now it's not just Cliff designing this offense. Cliff is not the CEO of the offense. I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, but, Dan Quinn's the CEO of the team, and then on top of that, he also has Anthony Lynn helping him. He has Tavita Pritchard, a couple of other guys. I mean, he's not the only one Brian Johnson as well. Like Brian Johnson is the passing game coordinator. So you got a lot of different hands in the cookie jar right now. So I would be kind of shocked if we're watching a carbon copy of preseason of what you're going to see fully in the regular season. Like, it's just absurd to kind of expect that.
That's why I hate all this data stuff, because it makes people that don't have an athletic bone in their body think that they know what they talking about. Like, it's crazy. But I would just say don't buy into anything. Like Mual just gave y'all a perfect example. It's hard to really tell a lot of stuff from preseason because each team is going with a different approach. I think Mual could probably back this up because you reviewed the full tape of the Miami game, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Weaver of the Dolphins was dialing up some defensive packages. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, it was not vanilla on his side. Maybe that's their plan and their initiative for how they want to manage their preseason, but everyone doesn't go about it that same way. Some people take a different approach.
Let's close out, fellas, with what is this? Fringe vet roster statuses. So basically, as it says, like some of those veterans who were battling for position groups. I mean, battling for roster spots. Kind of where are they at in terms of like making the 53? Technically, we'd have to do some math to see like how many people are they going to keep at a certain position. But I don't want to put that stress on us. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and go through some names and see like where do you all think they are in terms of making the roster. And then next Tuesday we can worry about the actual math being done by them. All right, so I'll just go through some of the notable guys, and you all can kind of tell me if you all have an opinion on them. I'll start with, because I'm doing this in order in terms of like sorting the positions out on the roster. So the first one up is center/guard. Ricky Stromberg is a guy up there. What do you all think about him being around? Do you see him sticking around to the final 53, or is he somebody who's still in that fringe status where he's more so leaning on the outside?
I think he makes it.
I think so too. I have it as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna be real short. I think the versatility center and guard, he makes it.
Let's see. Tariq Castro Fields, cornerback. What do you all think about him? He's kind of in there with, let's see, Noah Igbenogany, James Pierre. Yeah, and that's about it. Those are the other three. So what do you think about Tariq Castro Fields? Let's kind of actually do all those three together. Noah, Tariq, James Pierre. Who are the people that's out?
Out Castro Fields for me.
Castro.
I'm struggling with Pierre and Noah. I'm struggling with them too, because as I mentioned earlier with James Pierre, I believe he was kind of brought in for special teams. I know he could play that, but then I know Noah is a guy that I think he was with Dallas last year, so they're familiar with him. Also, he's a former first-round pick. I believe the Dolphins picked him in the first round. So I'm going to give him the edge for that last cornerback spot, and Pierre and Castro Fields out.
Yeah, I got Noah making the team, making the 53. I got Castro Fields practice squad. James St. Pierre. The only James St. I know is from Power. So yeah.
So Jay, I didn't even notice you said that. Notice that happened. I'm trying to double check, but I don't see Dito on the roster. So they may have actually cut him.
No, Dieter's still on the roster. Yeah, he's still there.
Okay, so let me double check and go down to guard, because he may just be. Oh yeah, he's still there. Okay. Never mind then. All right. Where we at? Cornerback. We just went through corner. Let's go to defensive end. Jamon Davis. Let's do Jamon. Let's do Justin Hollins, if he even stood out to you all. But Jamon Davis, Justin Hollins, defensive ends. Where are y'all at with those two? I think Justin is the easy one, but
they just signed Justin Hollins today, if I'm not mistaken. So we haven't even seen him yet. So I would say no, he just got signed this week. He hasn't played a game yet. I'm thinking
of Jalen Harris. Never mind.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Jalen is young. So disregard. Let's do interior and edge rushers then. So let's do Fedarian Mathis, Jamon Davis, John Ridgeway, and Taylor Stallworth. They've been playing Stallworth a lot, so he's a 6-year pro. So let's kind of put those guys in the mix.
So you said who? Let's go through.
I got something that's going to be a little bit easier. Hold on, yeah, I got you. Hold on, 2 seconds. Let's do. Here we go. And let's remove this so we can all look. So where are we at? Where was I at? Fedarian Mathis. John Ridgeway, Taylor Stallworth.
Stallworth out.
Out. What about Phil?
It's between Ridgeway and Mathis. I'm going to say Mathis specifically because I think I've seen him on the field before Ridgeway in a lot of these scenarios, well, at least with the starters, with Allen and Payne out. So I feel like he probably has the edge, and Ridgeway's out. And normally, now they got a guy, what's his name? Hagay, I can't pronounce his name, but he's a pathway guy. Yeah, so he doesn't count against the roster during the season. So that could factor into how many defensive tackles they keep because they'll have an extra body there. So yeah, I'm gonna say Ridgeway and Stallworth out, fill in.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Ridgeway making the 53, Mathis cut, Stallworth practice squad. I think the reason why I say it that way, they got some guys that are interchangeable within the scheme, like a Dorrance Armstrong that can also play some D tackle for him. Then is Newton supposed to be playing week 1? Like, is he
I have no idea.
Yeah, we
okay?
don't know.
So then, what about F.A. Obata?
But he's a
Shit, he
deep
ain't play yet either.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just from
He on the
just
pup
from
list,
the,
ain't he?
Yeah, I think he's still down there. Let me
Yeah,
let
he on
me
the pup
scroll.
list.
Yeah,
I
he
think the
on
name
pup.
that does make it, the Pato dude, the Samoan guy,
Oh, Pataya. Yeah, Ben and Pataya.
Patai, I think he makes it.
Okay.
That's a good call. He has had a pretty well. He stood out a couple of times this preseason.
Yeah, I think
Um.
it's Ridgeway, Pattaya, and yeah, that's it. And
All right. So who are we? All right. Guard. Dieter. Is he sticking around? I don't think he's made any special. I don't think he's made any noise, but I think he was brought in by the staff. So I don't. I kind of try to. I'm gonna kind of lean to him staying around. Let's see who else. I mean, we know Patterson's gone, the kicker.
Well, Chris Paul is on that list too.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question about Chris Paul. Do we think Paul makes the cut?
I think he the odd man out because I don't think they're getting rid of Dieter because Dieter has the versatility between center and guard, and he is their guy. They brought him in. So you're going to have Cosme, Allegretti, Dieter, Beatis. And if I think Stromberg's making the team, I think Chris Paul could be that odd man out from that group.
Okay.
that's tough. I think
shit.
Chris
I mean, I don't
makes it.
think Good Jones ain't been doing. He ain't been doing much of shit anyway.
I didn't have him on the roster at all. He's a practice squad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul makes the roster.
Okay.
And then there's the center that they brought in as well, J.C. Hassanauer. I don't know. I haven't seen much of him to say whether he makes the team, but I know they recently brought him in too.
Yeah, I ain't paid too much attention to him when he was playing. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I ain't even gonna say. I don't know. I don't know what he gonna do. Okay. All right. Anthony Pittman. Cut.
We're going to have another linebacker today too, Mual, Chappelle Russell. So I guess he'll play this weekend. We'll see him.
Who am I missing? I think we did. Oh, did we answer the question on Jamon? I think we got cut off for a second because we talked edge at first, but I think did we? I don't remember if we did.
No, we didn't. We didn't answer.
Okay, so let's kind of say a yes or no right now because the next time we're actually on the show is after cuts. So I'll say he makes it.
I say the same. He makes the roster. I don't see anyone that's behind him that would take his roster spot.
Okay.
I say he gets cut.
Okay.
Jayden Daniels. Braden obviously missed all of last year because he hurt a pinky. And Ron Rivera said that's enough. It's like I don't know if he hurt his pinky or not, but it was a slight little injury. They just put that man on IR. Okay, so Braden though he had a couple good reps in that Miami Dolphins game as a guard. So I wonder if they kind of see something where they can really work with him. I don't know what the final answer would be, but right now I'd say no. I'd say he's out.
Yeah, he's out. I think the 4 tackles are Wiley, Lucas, Coleman, and Trent Scott, and then the outside chance would be the cat from Toledo. I can't pronounce his name, but David Ngwagu, whatever, how do you say that? Yeah, he would be the outside chance, but I think they go 4 tackles and Wiley, Lucas, and Coleman, and Scott, and Daniels would be cut.
I don't have Daniels making the team.
Okay.
I don't even know who the other guys are because I don't think you got it on the actual portion of the list, but yeah, I don't have
he's just listed as O-line, that's why. So I think he ain't near tackle or near guard.
I think they might tried to see if they could develop Jayden Daniels a little bit, he might be able to. He's an athletic dude. I just don't think he has the size necessarily in the arm length to play tackle. But I think he could be a serviceable guard. He's athletic enough, and he could take on those blocks. So maybe he
Okay.
makes practice squad.
Jeff Driscoll, does he make it or as a third QB, or do they keep two? I say they keep three, but I think that Mariota keeps number 2 spot.
I agree. I got Driscoll making the team. Sam Hartman to the practice squad.
Yeah, I think Driscoll makes the team.
Austin, I mean, no, not
He
Austin
just won't
Jones.
dress. He just won't dress any game. He'll just be the
Right.
emergency.
Michael Wiley, Chris Rodriguez, Jeremy Nichols, who is RB number 3. Assuming the other two are out, obviously. Who's RB number 3?
RB number 3 is McNichols. Chris Rodriguez doesn't make it. I think Wiley.
You just had to say it. Like we knew the other two are out. You just wanted to make sure that people knew that you wanted Chris Rodriguez out. That's what you're saying.
Hey, nah, that's not it. But I know that boy had a clean ass jersey at the end of the game.
I got
that boy could have rode the plane back to Dulles in his uniform because
he had to shower.
I don't think he got a snap.
Nah, I got 4 running backs making the team, but I don't have Chris Rodriguez being one of them. I got Jeremy McNichols, running back 3, and I got Michael Wiley being one of the surprise guys to make the team at the running back position.
Okay. All right, we talked about Derek Forrest. So what about Derek? Does he make it?
Yeah, I got Defoe making it. I think
Same.
he brings some versatility to that safety room.
And Jeremy Reeves, add him to the conversation. So we think Defoe makes it. Dre, you think Defoe makes it?
I do. I have Chin Martin, Derek Forrest, Dominic Hampton. Obviously, he's the rookie they drafted. Percy Butler on the odd. He's one of the odd men out. I think Percy Butler's gone, and I'm gonna say because Tyler Owens is making an emergence, they're not gonna keep 6 safeties. You could see Butler and Reeves go.
Yeah, I definitely got Percy Butler and Jeremy Reeves getting cut.
I tend to lean with y'all too. Same boat, Reeves and Butler.
But I also think that's a position that they will pay close attention to when it comes to the waiver wire the next day after cuts next Tuesday.
Where we at? Trent Scott. Does he make it? He ain't
yes.
Been all too. Okay.
I haven't made it. I think he'll be one of the 4 tackles.
Okay.
I don't think he makes it because I think that they will have an understanding that someone else is going to be available through the waiver wire.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little questionable with Trent Scott. I don't think he makes it either. All right. Let's go to we got tight end and receiver left. All right. So do we think that they keep 1, 2, 3, 4 tight ends? If the answer is yes, who's that 4th tight end between Cole Turner and Kosi Yankoff?
Cole Turner. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen enough, even though Cole Turner, I'm be honest with you, I haven't been impressed with him.
I showed y'all that corner route, bro.
Yes, you did. I watched it. But I mean, it's not even just that.
Shit was hilarious, bro. I'm like, bro, like what, bro, that man couldn't even lift toilet paper under his feet, bro. Like he jumped like somebody shot him, bro.
But no, Mo, I mean, Cole Turner hasn't shown anything in his NFL career to what we kind of thought we might have got out of him in that late round pick that we got him for. So, I mean, in those reps you're showing, he's not impressing Ron Rivera and them this time around. He's got to prove something to guys who have no attachment to him whatsoever, and those are not good reps at all. So he's the guy. I don't see him making a team at all. But I don't know if they keep 4 tight ends either. I think they keep 3 tight ends. Like I think it's Ertz, Sennett, and Bates, and maybe they wait. This might be one of those positions they go to the waiver wire for.
Definitely going to the waiver wire. Cole Turner is not making this team. He is ass. So yeah, Yankoff might get practice squad possibly because you could possibly use him in the role of how they intend to use Sennett. But I definitely see them going to the waiver wire at the tight end position. I mean, to have to even go into the season relying on Zach Ertz as your number one tight end is scary as hell. Because if he goes down, you have no threat in the receiving game, honestly. I mean, Ben Sinnott is not a route runner, so yeah.
Kaz Allen goes to practice. My prediction: Kaz Allen goes to practice squad. Martavis Bryant goes to practice squad. Davion is cut. Davion Davis. Luke McCaskey on the roster. Byron Pringle. I'm going to say right now, I like him, but he's cut. Jack Sank is cut. I don't know if he gets signed on practice squad. I don't know. And same thing with Tinsley, cut. I don't know if he goes practice squad, but I think they keep Tremaine. I think they keep the kids. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So you have them keeping Tremaine. Okay.
Yep. I have them keeping Tremaine unless Martavis Bryant, and because we're talking about before this third preseason game, and he was fucked having Trace McSorley as quarterback. He ain't get nothing done out there.
So Mo, you got seven. You got 7 wide receivers.
Let's see. Diami, Luke, Terry, Bryson, Zacchaeus. Who am I missing?
Jamison Crowder.
Oh no, I don't think they keep me Jameson.
Okay, so Jamison, you got him cut. Okay.
Yeah, all right, so I think it's 6, right?
This is what I'm struggling. I'm struggling between 6 or 7 guys. I don't know if they keep 6 or 7. I feel like they keep 7 if they like one of them for special teams, like specifically special teams. And that would be a Jamison Crowder or Kaz Allen. But Kaz Allen, as we know, has a lot to prove to make that last roster spot. So for now, I'm going to say 6, but I do have Jamison Crowder actually making the team. I have Jamison Crowder making the team. I got the fringe guys as practice squad guys and the rest cut.
Man, this wide receiver position is so ass, bro. I definitely think Martavius makes practice squad. Tremaine possibly practice squad as well. Man, I gotta pick one of these guys and make the squad at wide receiver.
I mean, you ain't gotta pick. You can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can say they keep 5 wide receivers if you want.
Yeah, I don't see Davis.
You're gonna know the answer next week.
Yeah, I don't see Davis making it. I definitely don't see Brian Pringle making it. I don't see Rosemary Jackson making it. Maybe practice squad as an option. Tinsley, I don't see it. I think he gets cut. I think Kaz Allen makes it, man. They see something in him, and they're willing to rock with it. Like I said, I'm gonna comp him to how.
Sound like Jamon Davis.
Nah, because Kaz in his second year, so and he undrafted. But I feel like
it's their first year for Jamon, bro.
Hey man, this is 4th year, and I don't know what else gonna happen to him afterwards. But honestly, with Jamon, if I was Jamon, I'd probably be like, man, release me. Let me go to a team and play backer, bro. Because I'm not gonna get re-signed in this league at the end at this rate. So that's the conversation he got to have with his agent. But back to Kaz Allen, I just see him being in the mode of like a Rondell Moore, and that's how Cliff intends to use him.
Okay. All right. Again, that was worthwhile given we're not gonna be back until Tuesday on this side. So we'll know everything after the cuts. We can try and get a reporter on for the live stream so we can kind of go through it with a boots on ground type guy or gal. Figure that thing out. That's gonna wrap it up for us. All 32 is gonna come back on Thursday. I think I'm gonna have a slight little, what is that? What did I call that show? Good Lord. The hot read.
Jay Tyler, ain't you the same one that was over here vouching for Antonio Gibson for the past couple seasons since we've been doing Trap or Dive? I don't want to hear nothing about no one costing anyone a game, dog.
AJ pulling receipts.
So yeah, we got a couple things going on again. The jersey
kicker.
giveaway.
We need to talk about kicker.
Well, we know.
We know.
You know.
There ain't no conversation, bro.
What we gonna say about that? That's the first waiver wire thing they're doing. That's literally the first waiver wire thing they're doing.
Hey, bro, why you keep saying the LB? They just didn't update it, bro. That's all it is. He's playing exclusively at edge. It's not even
official, bro.
It's
but
not
to Jay Tyler's point, I will say that they did list what's his name, Dante Fowler, as an outside linebacker on the depth chart, not the roster. Well, he might be on the roster as that, but I think that's what Jay Tyler's kind of alluding to, that maybe he's going to be used. How they're going to use Dante Fowler?
Who?
I mean, they still have Jamon and they have Dante listed as linebacker on the roster and the depth chart. But I'm saying, like, that conversation in itself, like, I don't think look at where they playing him. Like they have Dominic Hampton. Right. They have Dominic Hampton listed as a DB, and he played exclusively at linebacker against the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. Like, man, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, I ain't never seen Dante Fowler play a snap of linebacker in this league.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing edge. Like,
and he primarily been with Dan Quinn. So yeah,
coming
off the edge.
So schedules. We'll be back on Tuesday. All 32 is on Thursday. No post-game show Sunday night. We'll be back on Tuesday. Tomorrow, the hot read coming out. The jersey giveaway for Jayden Daniels has not gone away. Also, if you want to become a member of the channel, we do have memberships out now, so you can go ahead and become a member. Become one of the gang, man. We appreciate that if you do. But that's the last I kind of mentioned that, but just giving everybody a heads up. And yeah, I think we're good. AJ Dre, y'all take it easy. AJ, I am talking to your boy about that Madden League, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep chopping up with him. I'm trying to figure out if that shit makes sense for me. I guess nothing even started yet. So
I think he don't start until like the official roster come out, but it's smart. 48 hours.
Yeah, that's smart. So I ain't even tripping off that. That's good. Shit, Joe, you might as well lock in whenever you get the Mad in there. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised.
He said he played basketball against you. That's what he told me.
He may have. I run against a lot of motherfuckers, bro. Hey,
but one last thing. So you was in a go-go band. What was the name of the band?
Yeah. When I say that, I said it on here. I was like, when I say that, bro. I was. So it was two. It's the same band, but we changed names. The first name was Promise to Crank. That was the jump that we had. PTC. That's the jump that we had. What was that noise? That was the jump we had in high school, and then like our last year in high school, we went to No Regards band. They go by the Full Bump now. They still around, but we changed some members. But we go by the Full Bump now, or they do. I still support them, so I say we.
Well, Mo, what did you play in the go-go band? What was
I was backline, bro. I played the Timbales, bro. I was like that joint getting busy, bro. I was getting busy, bro. Hey,
I went to school with all the CCB dudes and TCB, you know what I'm saying? So I knew a couple of I'm a little older, so
hey, even when I hear go-go now, bro, I be like all I listen to is the back line, bro. Like I love the words sometimes, the lyrics, but it's the back line that get me. If the back line cranking, bro, like that's my song. That's my motherfucking song. All right, that's it. That's gonna wrap it up. Y'all be safe. We'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday with a day one game. But yeah, until next time. Peace.